Slave of Christ. I want to talk about Genesis. That's kind of what I've been studying, so I've come across a lot, so I just want to share it with you. I thought it was very significant. I got a few things I want to start off in Hebrew because Genesis wrote in Hebrew, but in the very first verse of the Hebrew Bible, there's 7 words in the first verse. Then there's 14 words in the second verse. Then I spoke about the Aleph Tav in the Hebrew symbolism of Jesus' fingerprints, because he's the first and the last. In Revelation, he said, I am the Alpha and the Omega. This is what he would have said in Hebrew, I'm the Aleph and the Tav. First letter and last letter of the Hebrew alphabet. There's 21 of those found throughout the first chapter of Genesis. Then there's 35 times you find the name Elohim, which is the name for God in the Hebrew for the 7 days of creation. Then you find 147 times the letter Aleph in the first chapter. And the very first word of the Hebrew Bible is Bereshit. It's the gospel of Jesus hidden in each letter individually. But just real quick, some words that are in that word are son, the word create, the word covenant, the word first fruits, and then the last letter of that word is the cross, is the tav. So anyhow, that's the Hebrew part. Now let's go to the English King James thing, some things that I found. Genesis has 50 chapters. That's significant. Of Pentecost is where the church was born, and it's also a Jubilee year. Genesis had 31 verses. That's even, you could have a verse a day. In our months, most months, the Islam and the Jewish people, they only have 30 days. Genesis, the first chapter, has 6 days of creation, and then it's separate for the 7th day. It's even, like 6 is a number for man, and 7th is a number for rest. And see, they put a gap between the 6th day and the 7th day. The 7th day is addressed in the 2nd chapter. And it's significant whenever the days of creation are called 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. But if you go back to the Hebrew, it's actually called one day or day one. It's never said the first day because there was no first day of God. That's why I don't say first day. There's 7 times you'll find in King James in chapter 1 word heaven. 7 times you'll see God saw. 21 times you'll see earth. And then when go in there and look, and there's 3 different creations. The word actually means create. That means create from nothing. God created. And the first is all non-living matter. The second is the living animals. You find in verse 21, and then the third one is when he created man. You find it in the 27th verse, and it's 3 times it says God created, and he created them. Very significant. He just 3 times he said he created man within one verse. So, and we're the living soul. He breathed life into him. And just kind of neat. Mondays are bad because God never said it was good on the 2nd day. And Tuesdays are double blessed because in there you find it in the 3rd day. He said it twice. God saw that it was good. And then the days of creation, 3 days, they're separating. God is separating things, and then the next 3 days he's filling it. And then I'll finish up with this. The scene of Genesis 1, it goes, day 1 and day 2 is in heaven, considering heavenly things. Day 3 is considering the earth. Day 4 is the heaven. Day 5 and 6 is with earth. So let me ask you this. You know anyone that's ever accomplished that in the scenery has went from heaven to earth and back to heaven, and one day he's coming back to earth again. And that's where we'll remain with him. And then the 7th day is the combination, is rest, and it's significant because earth and heaven rested. And through Jesus Christ, we all will enter into rest. And we'll be here on earth, and God will come down in his throne and dwell with us. And that's in Revelation. So Genesis is very similar to Revelation, but I found these things and I thought it very significant. I want to just put it out. The Bible is living, breathing, even from the very first chapter. A lot of significant things. Just want to share it with y'all. Love y'all.